All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Market Prep. I hope you're having an amazing morning. Hope you guys had an incredible day yesterday. Good morning, Peter. How are you doing today? Oh, we cannot hear Peter. Is it just me? Or...
I'm on mute. Hold on.
There you go. I got you now. Yep.
My bad.
We got you.
User error. Yeah, good morning. I was saying I'm exhausted. I went for an early morning workout for the first time in a couple of months, and it was humiliating. I need a nap. Man, tired.
Yeah. That will definitely happen when you're getting back into, especially so early in the day there. But you got it in, man. You got it in. That's what counts.
I did. I have to keep it up now. Keep going.
Absolutely. All right, friends, we got some data coming out in just a couple of minutes here, and we are looking at our gappers list. Say again, Peter?
1 minute.
Yep, 1 minute. Yep. Gappers list right now. Again, not a whole lot, but that's going to change depending how this data comes in and how it is received. Let's look at our economic calendar here from Peter while we wait for that data to come out.
Yeah, so initial jobless claims and GDP are what we're looking for right away. Then later after the open, 15 minutes after the open, look for the Chicago PMI numbers, the business barometer as they call it. And then at 10, we've got pending home sales and the big consumer sentiment numbers. So we got a bunch of numbers coming out, which means we could see a little bit of erratic behavior in the SPY. You remember, volumes have been low all week, so I expect them to continue to be a little lower than normal today, which means the moves can be a little more exaggerated, right? Because you don't have as much volume to absorb the change. So we'll see what the computers choose to do as all these numbers come out. I was checking out the globe, and it looks like we're sort of flat pretty much everywhere. A little bit green in some places. Japan was a little bit low. GDP, Canada GDP just came out. Let's see. Jobless claims are out. They're pretty much right on target. 212,000 was the expectation. Just came out at 210,000. And then the GDP, the U.S. GDP number just came out and a little bit higher than expected. 3.2% growth was the expectation, and we came out at 3.4% growth. So a little bit, I guess, sort of a mixed picture, right? So fewer jobless claims, which is considered good, and a stronger economy. Again, the market, well, we'll see what it does. It seems to be moving up in initial reaction to that, which is interesting. I would have expected them not to be that excited about that and see a move down, but we'll see. Maybe that's just an initial push, and we'll see the reversal of it. So there you go. So there's your first two numbers for the morning. And then, like I said, 9:45 and 10. Be aware of that. If you like to trade the open, you're trading opening range breaks. We may see some market reaction, just like we're seeing right now from these 9:45 and 10 a.m. numbers. So keep those in mind. We'll be talking. We'll announce them in the room, one way or the other. I think Andrew's back trading live today, so I'll have to interrupt him. But we'll make sure that you guys hear the numbers if you're a Bear Bulls member and you're in the trade room, so that you know what's happening and don't forget about them. All right. So let's take a look at what's gapping and move on from here.
All right, excellent. Thank you, Peter. All right, friends, looking at our gappers list this morning, not a whole lot of change since we saw it last, but a couple of tickers on here, and our good buddy Reddick dropping against some more. Some people are saying this thing is going to drop 50% more than where it is right now. People are really betting on this thing to just kind of crash and burn. So very, very interesting. But yeah, it's down 3.2 this morning. Good, some volume on there. We'll see how that looks in just a second as the market kind of digests this news here and trying to see what it really wants to do. All right, let's hop in here, guys. A big picture. We're going to look at our watch list. Control A, Control X is going to remove that and clear that up for us. And then let's go through this list and see what we can find. Starting with AVTX. AVTX this morning up 337%. So a nice big pop for them today. Look at this daily. was sitting at 1,900, 800 back in May 2023, slammed down to what, $20? What's going on
20
here?
bucks.
$5, and we're up this morning. Peter, what's driving this thing 342% up this morning?
Yeah, so two bits of news. One, they acquired. So this is Avalo, the name of this company. And Avalo acquired a company called Almata Bio, specifically to get access to one of their drugs that is in phase 2 trials. So anyway, so they made an acquisition, and so that's news item number one, which usually drives the acquirer down, but in this case, because that drug is in phase 2, it's considered to be a potentially good move. And then combine it with the second bit of news, which is that they also received $185 million in a private placement funding, which gives them extra cash to support I guess the development of this drug to fruition through 2027. So basically, they got a cash infusion and the acquisition of a competitor that's got a drug in early stage trials that didn't have the cash needed to bring it through to fruition. So that's good for them. They also have interesting. They're going to have a webcast. It says this morning. It's probably going on right now. So I don't know. I don't see huge reaction here from the stock, but it says it starts at 8:30 Eastern. So I don't know. This thing might move. It might be worth watching. We'll see. 2 million shares, a lot of volume, up, like you said, Carlos, 345%. I'm not sure what I mean. Like you said, it was $1,000 a couple of years. Well, not a couple, quite a number of
Yeah.
years ago.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's just wild.
yeah,
Float on this thing, by the way, what is 800,000 is what I'm showing here. So
yeah.
extremely low flow. Be very, very careful. No
Is
shares
it
to short
really?
on
I
this
didn't
one.
even look at that. Oh yeah.
Yeah, so
Oh yeah.
this is a no touch for me, just the way it is. Just looks
Wow.
very, very dangerous. Yeah.
So, wow, that's actually impressive. So, if the company is only valued at a $3.8 million market cap, to get $185 million in cash, that's very significant. So, we'll see. We'll see what this does. This thing could move today, but yeah, you got to put it in a risky pile if you're going to try.
Yeah, yep, absolutely. All right, we'll leave that one alone. I'm not even gonna add that one to my list. It's just not gonna be fun for me to even look at that. PIK this morning, it is up 84%, 3.7 million shares traded this morning. And as you can see here, we're getting some action. This is also a low flow. So a bunch of low flows leading the way. 800,000, 1.6 million, and another one here, 4.3 million. It's the next one we'll look at. Peter, any news worth watching this one today?
I don't think so. I mean, I see that they regained compliance with the Nasdaq's rules, I guess, for continued listing. But other than that, I don't actually see any real business news. So this is KidPick. What is?
Oh,
Do you
we
know
heard
this?
this. We
Apparently,
heard this ticker. Seen this ticker before. Kickpick.
we've seen it
This
before.
such an
It's a
interesting
it's
name.
a U.S. retail company, KidPick Corp.
Yeah,
I don't I
yeah,
don't know.
very weird. Um, all right, yeah, we've seen this before. I'll leave it alone, guys. Again, can't even short this thing right now. We're Interactive Brokers. Typically, not one of the stocks that we look at. So, all right, another low flow here. CZ or ZZ if you're in Canada. My good friends up in
Thank you.
Canada, like Peter. We are up 45%, 580,000 shares traded. Another low flow that just doesn't look all that good. Again,
Kazoo.
had a big day yesterday. I'm not sure what's driving this thing.
Yeah, Kazoo. And being that they're a UK based company, I think it is CZ. Not that it matters.
Yep,
Um,
yep.
They have announced that they're going to transition to be a pure play automotive marketplace business model. Sounds like they're going to become the auto trader of the UK, or at least that's their objective. So, anybody from the UK do they have auto trader? I know it's in Canada and the US. I'm not even
Mm,
sure, but yes, there is the auto trader like as a brand exists there. Okay, all right. Well, looks like they're going up against them. So, um, anyways,
all right,
okay.
so there
Well,
it is.
looks
Auto
like
Trader.
Kazoo is going to try and challenge them.
Okay. And
So,
Kareem is saying Auto Trader is big in UK. So there it is. All right, so they got some action this morning. Again, the stock now looking so hot. Did have an interesting day yesterday. We got some action out of that, but I'm just gonna keep that one off my list as well today.
yeah.
All right, and then the last but not least, well, probably least because XPEF has been horrible, and you can see here we're up to 4.2. And just look at this pre-market activity: 766,000 shares traded, and there's a lot of barcore action there. And yesterday, same thing here, right? Initial drop and then just sideways for the most part. So this stock is just not trading well. We do have shares for short today. We didn't have it yesterday. Very little though, only 200,000. So again, getting inventory to short this thing with interactive brokers has not been easy. Only 200,000 today, which can go very, very quickly. All right. Anything interesting on XPEV before we move to our
There was an
gap down?
not really. I mean, when I looked up XPEV, I got news on General Motors. There was an interesting statement from the CEO, Mary Barra of General Motors CEO, that said apparently Barra has put a stake in the sand, saying we will be selling more EVs in this country than anyone else, including Tesla. Saying that she's putting GM all in on the EV market, which is not a surprise. I mean, I guess that every car company pretty much is going all in on EVs, right? It seems inevitable that we'll all be driving electric soon at some point, but they just got to work on the battery the battery technology, but they'll get there.
Yeah.
So anyways, yeah, XPEV has just been up and down, Carlos. I mean, it happens to get the early morning volume, which is why I think it shows up on our list, but it has not been that interesting to trade. As you can see, look at the price action, pretty gross. So sorry for the technical terminology there, but it's gross. So
it, it
we'll
sure is. I think we'll give
yeah,
this a little garbage truck
there you
action.
go.
Just not
There you
looking all
go.
that hot. Well, hot garbage is
Mwah,
pretty hot there.
mwah,
Um,
mwah. Yeah.
yeah. All right, friends, let's head over to our gap down list this morning, which we don't have a lot here. Again, pretty quiet start to the day. We have a LUNR. This is Intuitive Machines, and these guys are up 4.8 this
Lunar.
morning. Yeah, 4.8.
We
Down, sorry, excuse me, down.
haven't talked about them since they fell over on their side a while back. Get it? Remember the reference?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
They did have earnings. Probably why it's up on the list. I think their earnings were after the close yesterday. But they actually beat their numbers. This was let's see, better. Yeah, they beat on earning. Sorry, revenue and bottom line, but nobody cares. Yeah, they're all saying, yeah, but your landing craft still fell over. So
Yeah. Yeah. Not,
so yeah.
not good. Um, we'll skip it. I don't think it's going to be a great one anyway. Another one
No.
that's been moving around quite a bit is Reddick. Here we are down 3.9, but we are still above our IPO price. So far, still doing very good here. Although some people are suggesting, some analysts, that this can drop 50% from here. So that's rough.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see.
Look, and that's not a surprise. I was expressing my surprise that Reddit was up as much as it was, right? And we haven't seen
Yeah.
good IPOs in quite a while. It's not good news when insiders start to sell as well, right? They're not holding for the long term. The CEO sold 500,000 shares, and the CFO sold something like 71,765 shares to be
Wait,
exact.
already?
So
Already?
already,
Wow.
already. So
Yeah.
yeah, we've
Jump
got
ship. Oh yeah.
now you have to keep in mind that as far we don't know how many shares they have. So, to sell that many shares, for the CFO, the chief financial officer, that was a 2.3. Oh no, I do actually. So sold 71,000 shares, still holds 680,000 shares. So pocketed a good 2.3 million on that sale. Like, maybe you just needed to renovate the house or something. And who knows, right?
You're being nice,
CTO
Peter.
share,
You're being
well,
nice. These guys are running as fast as they can away from this thing.
well, but they are selling, right? Like,
Yeah.
you got to look. The CTO sold 185,000 shares, which leaves them about 413. So that's a big stake. The
Yeah.
chief operating officer sold. The chief operating officer sold almost 500,000 shares. Still has 1.7 million. Interesting. The chief operating officer seems to hold a lot more shares than the CEO. But anyways, so they're all selling. Like, it's just the whole executive team is putting some money in the bank just in case, which is doesn't excite you anyways for the prospects
Yeah,
of the
yeah.
stock.
You would think your top executives would want to hold this, presuming that it's going to go higher, but that is not the case.
Yeah,
All right, we'll see what happens here. Again, in play this morning, down 4.1, 320,000 shares traded. There is shares for shorts, not many, only about 350,000, which can go pretty quickly with the volume this thing is trading
yeah.
every day. So if you try shorting this and you don't
The
get in, that could be the reason.
The other thing I'll mention is just looking at the insider information. Pretty much all the insiders, all of the operational people, so those in the company, have an average cost of about $32.30. Where it looks like the directors, those that are on the board, all have an average cost of about $34. So they've been granted all these stocks, obviously at early IPO rates. So that's going to be a key level, right? If we start to get down towards that, that's when the company exec will start to panic, because that means that their their stocks are underwater, right? They won't be worth anything.
Yeah.
So we'll keep an eye on that and see what happens. But I mean, I hope Reddit goes up. It could be fun to play, but
Yeah.
I don't know. It's been tough IPOing anything recently.
I agree. Here's a live view of the CEO in a meeting telling them everything is fine, but he has already sold half of his shares. So he's telling everybody else, hold, hold,
Yeah,
hold. All right, there we go.
yeah.
So, so that's Reddit. Let's head over to WBA this morning. So
Yeah.
WBA right now, this is Walgreens. So we only see this when we
All
have
green
some
boots.
kind of
Yeah,
earnings or
like
news or what's
a,
happening with
a,
this one.
a real company,
Yeah,
or maybe a big company. I don't want to belittle anybody else's business. So they had earnings this morning. They actually beat their numbers, top and bottom line. But their outlook is they basically narrowed. They put it at the bottom end of the expected range and said that it's a challenging economy. I'm using air quotes because that's how they did it. So yes. Yeah, they basically didn't give a rosy outlook, so usually that pulls your stock down. Now, this is one of the weird ones that it trades on the Nasdaq, but it trades like a New York Stock Exchange stock. I have watched this many a time and tried to trade it. So you need to trade it like it's a New York Stock Exchange, a NYSE stock, which means it may not get volume right at the open. It may make weird moves that you can't predict. I don't find it's structurally sound from a pattern perspective like you get on a lot of Nasdaq stocks. So just my advice would be careful. I'm not saying don't trade it. I'll be watching it because we don't have much else to watch. But it'll be risky. It's a challenge. So
yeah.
yeah,
Someone asked if this is all time low. No, this stock goes way
no,
back. Look at this,
yeah,
1996,
yeah.
and they were here down at $96. 52-week low. We're hanging around that area for sure, and we've been much higher. And just look at the drop since a couple of years. So not looking too good, but yeah, not all time low. This is a pretty old stock. Um, all right, let's take a look at this one. I'll add on a secondary list. I mean, we do have some good volume. How well it's going to trade, we're not sure, but it might be worth keeping as a secondary for today. And not like we have a whole lot. Look at this list right now, right? Pretty quiet. Let's take a look at the last one, which we're very familiar with by now, is SoundHound. Again, on our list, down to 1.2,
Sound hand.
807,000 shares traded. Now, I've been taking this stock off my list a bunch of times. How is it trading? Let's take a look here. This is yesterday.
No.
So initial drop, no credit here. Everybody dropped yesterday. You had a lot of stocks that had that initial amazing drop, but then from there it just loses a lot of volume. So not sure how good this is. Peter, have you looked at it? I'm not sure. I'm sure you probably haven't traded it, or have you?
I have not.
Yep.
But yes, I did watch it yesterday, especially yesterday afternoon as we were heading towards the close, and I didn't like the way it moved. It was not pretty. So I will be avoiding it. I will continue to not trade it.
Yeah, it just doesn't look good. Um, all
I
right,
will
friends,
put
that
it
is
in the
it.
bucket of things I don't trade, like Donut and DJT and Hood and all those other ones that we've been seeing this week that I basically won't trade.
So is Hood? So Hood's coming out with this credit card. It's supposed to be like a piece of metal that's gold. That's part gold. I was hearing that with the
Oh,
radio, so I was dropping off my son, and we were talking about it. I had to get out the car, so I couldn't keep listening. But
uh,
that's interesting. Like their credit card's
I
going to be.
know it's gold colored, and it's got the fancy gold sort of leaf on it. I
Okay.
suppose it could actually be gold. Is it made out of gold? I don't know.
Yeah, maybe a couple of not like entirely, but
I mean, it
it is
looks
gold material. Okay, it is. All right. So I'll look
it's
that
made
up.
out of gold.
Yeah.
Gold like material. I'm not still that seems unclear to me. There's a pretty, all right, it looks fancy, I suppose, their credit card.
Yeah. There you go. All
Yeah.
right, friends.
So
So we'll see where that goes. Their CEO was on
you know
CNBC
what?
yesterday.
It doesn't matter. Whatever it is, it's hokey. And it's I don't know. I mean, look, they get a 3% cash back, and on top, yeah, no annual fee on top of the $5 monthly Robinhood Gold subscription fee. I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
it sounds like a pretty average credit card, just like all
Yeah.
the others. So,
All right, friends. That is what we have. Peter, anything else you like this morning that is we have not talked about?
well, I'm going to stick to the same old, right? The usuals. So AMD and Nvidia, Tesla and Apple, maybe Microsoft. I think what we need to all keep in mind with our gap up and down list, you can see how light it is, and basically there's no big names on it. Walgreens, the only thing of note with earnings today. It's a Friday of what was a low volume week. Well, it's a Friday. It's a Friday like trading. It's going to trade like it's a Friday, even though we are only Thursday. I actually thought for a moment it was Friday there in my head.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
weird.
No,
Okay.
it's like it. Yeah.
Um, it's not Friday. It is only Thursday, but it will trade like it's a Friday, which means we're going to get lower volume. I think the move at the open will probably be a little shorter than you normally get or expect. Uh, excuse me. When we get the economic numbers, we could get like just a little bit more movement than you would think is reasonable based on whatever the numbers are. So I think that just be careful. No matter what you pick, it's there could be great trading. I actually like these days. I don't mind trading these days, but I know that you have to be very cautious. You got to pick your spots, and don't assume the open is going to run like it used to, or like you would normally expect. Be suspicious of everything would be my advice on today's trading activities. So we'll see if Hey, I'm hoping I'm completely wrong, and it's going to be a fantastic day with huge volume. But I'm not counting on
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. I don't think it is, man. It's gonna be pretty quiet. I'm already looking forward towards Monday. I think Monday's gonna be a lot of fun. Waking up and seeing how the market reacts to data that it couldn't
Yeah.
react live tomorrow, right? So tomorrow you got
Well, the
inflation data coming out.
The early Easter holiday is creating some fun. Yes, I think Monday, you're right, Carlos, is going to be a lot of fun. Don't forget, we got economic data coming out tomorrow that the market can do nothing about, right?
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
really. So we'll be watching in pre-market. We'll talk to you about that as we do this show on Monday morning, and then the open could be wild, especially if we get big moves pre-market. Then we'll have to see how the big money chooses to adjust once the opening bell rings and where we go. So yeah, could be very, very interesting. I think they may be holding whatever they've got, and probably not a lot of trading today from the deep pockets as they wait for that economic data and wait out the long weekend. But that's just my
Yeah. Yeah.
suspicion, not a fact. And
Absolutely.
end of the quarter, as Benny
End
is
of the
saying, yeah, I
quarter.
mean,
Yeah.
obviously it's end of that first quarter, and I think we already had the options expiry, right? Didn't that happen last week? The big quad witching day thing. So
I'm not
that's not
sure. I want to
happening.
say yes, but I'm not
Yeah, I think it
100%
was
sure.
last.
Yeah.
I think I remember hearing people talk about it. But yeah, so I don't think we've got any big option expiries. Anybody who knows different, let us know. Not my area of expertise, but we'll see what happens next week. Yeah, again, should be fun. So
Yeah. Yeah.
be careful.
All right, guys, coming long weekend coming up, so we'll see how the stocks trade after the open. Again, pretty quiet right now, not a whole lot of movement. We're watching some of our. I got Reddit, I got Microsoft, Nvidia. I'll add AMD on here, and Apple. Apple was one of the few stocks that actually traded very well
Yeah,
yesterday. That did not sell off, man. They were going in the opposite
Apple
direction of
moved.
everything else. Yeah,
Exactly. Moved against the market yesterday, and the open had a great trade opportunity on Apple. I mean, I wasn't there for it. I didn't believe it, but it proved me wrong. Yeah, look at that move up in the
yeah,
opening 20 minutes of the market. It really sort of gave a good pull up and continued it pretty much for the rest of the day. So, yeah, it's maybe Apple's not dead yet.
yeah, yeah. We'll put
How
it,
many
put it.
times have people said that, right? Like it's just
Yeah,
keeps coming back.
we'll add it on here to the list, and then yeah, let's take a look at what you guys like. Anything on your end, guys, that you guys have on deck? I see Amazon being mentioned by Joe, Ben, also in our YouTube chat. Puppet Master also mentioned Amazon. Let's take a look at that one. Oh yeah, Amazon's daily does look very good actually. I do like this daily here. Yeah, we can watch Amazon today. Absolutely. And I'll probably move either AMD or Nvidia down. Again, their volume very light this morning. Although Nvidia keeps dropping. Look at Nvidia here now. Last couple of days in the red and just kind of trying to hold on to the support area. So that could be a good one as well. But I do like Amazon. We'll take a look at that one. I see SoFi being mentioned as well on both chats on YouTube and in our main chat. So let's take a look at what SoFi is doing. I'm personally not a big fan of this, but it looks like what's happening today is pretty. I see no movement. Any news? You guys both mentioned it.
So
What's going on with it?
so
Um,
far, I hadn't looked it up. Let's
yeah,
see
don't see
here.
any volume, and man, for me, this one is brutal. I'm probably gonna stay away from it.
Hmm.
Um,
They
just
did. Is Zofi up or down? It's down marginally.
uh,
They
barely
did
down.
looks like they're putting out into the market a secondary offering. Their float is 900 million shares currently. Looks like they're trying to raise a little bit of cash and issuing or releasing another 72 million shares. Um, Convertible notes, yeah. So I guess they're putting a little more inventory out there, but it's only it's a little under 10%. So
Yeah,
it's not huge, but
yeah, it's not that huge, and also it's not a typically it's not a great catalyst. So,
yeah,
for the way I trade, so I'm gonna keep it off my list, guys. But yeah, we can if you have space like today, you should have a lot of space. Look at this list; there's not much going on here. You can definitely add it to yours, but typically that doesn't trade all that well for me. Here is Snow earnings last night. We got a nice pop here on it. After hours today, we're up 2.3, not hitting our scanners because it's below
so
the numbers here, only 96,000. Peter, anything good happening with Snow?
I don't think they had earnings after the close yesterday. I don't know. I ran out of here, so I wasn't really watching it, but I know they're I don't know. Their CEO
Nothing.
was buying
Yeah.
into it, buying some
Okay.
shares. So that's good. That's the
That's good.
opposite way that
Opposite
some
of
are going.
Reddick. Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
It's good.
yeah, I'm not really seeing any big news. I'm trying to. This headline says high profile exit at Snowflake, but I'm trying to figure out what or who exited.
Hmm.
It says competition from his company fueled a high profile executive departure at rival Snowflake. So somebody's left. Uh,
Not
oh,
good.
okay. Sorry. The old CEO, Frank Slootman, good old Frank Slootman, he apparently left.
Not good for him.
Snowflake
Stock
was
goes up and you
basically not
leave.
doing the quote was Snowflake was basically not doing AI whatsoever. So apparently Frank Slootman's refusal to embrace AI caused him to step aside for Sridhar Ramswamy, who took over. And Ramswamy, in turn, has not only taken over as a CEO, but has decided to deepen his stake and buy into the company. So, all right. So there you go. So I guess that's what's happening with
All
Snowflake.
right, there you go. All right, friends, this is all we have for right now. Again, Melanie says this list looks like it needs a band-aid. No, this list needs like a life support at the moment. So again, we'll find something to trade, but it could be one of those days where you just can't be as aggressive as we have been over the last since I can remember the beginning of this year. Right, things have been a lot of fun. So we'll see. We'll see what kind of day we get here. Yesterday we saw parts of that. If you looked at the SPY yesterday, there was just not a whole lot of movement. You had an initial drop, and then we went sideways for a very long time, and it's been feeling like that all week. So Um, Again, just very interesting. Let's do this, friends. Let's get to our activities. Today is Thursday. I keep thinking it's Friday, but it is Thursday. We do have mentorship today. I'm already
It
in
is
weekend
Thursday.
mode, ready for Easter,
Yeah,
ready for the
I
egg
hear
hunt
you.
with the kids, ready to go, man. All right, let's see what we got here.
It feels like a Friday, but it is not, which means we do have our mentorship sessions starting at 10 o'clock. Sorry, 11 o'clock with John. Oh, I should know that by now. 11 o'clock with John. That's in the webinar room. And if you want to, sort of get in depth on any topic, go there. Ask John questions. Ask him questions about anything, specifically trading if you want, but, anything else if you want. He doesn't have to answer, but you can at least ask. So, um, go join him there and you will be able to ask him questions, and then we switch focus on to our options. I assume that Jared was not able to do the engineering the markets this morning. I assume he'll be here for the mentorship at 2. Megan or Jared, if you're here, you can confirm what's happening with that. But 2 o'clock, indeed. All right, he will be here. He's here now, and we'll be here at 2. So there you go. There's that session. Then, of course, Thor. Well, Thor, he can't end a Thursday without having his mentorship session. So it's always well attended and always well loved. So that'll be at 8 o'clock tonight, once again, in the webinar room. All right. So those are our 3 mentorship sessions, and that closes out the week. As we've been saying, just a reminder, anybody that just joined, tomorrow is a holiday. Markets are closed. We're closed. No pre-market show, no nothing, right? Like the room is closed. Everybody's taking a break. We'll all be back Monday, bushy, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed for the excitement after this long weekend. What doesn't close though? TradingTerminal.com. It's available for you whenever you want it. You can trade stocks in it all weekend if you want. Use the simulator mode to do that. The replay mode will give you any stock on any day. It's a great tool, let alone getting all your news and information. That's where we go every morning. And in fact, somebody, D. No Guria, too many vowels in there. Sorry, I'm saying your name terribly, but asking where I get my news, tradingterminal.com. It's the place to go. It's where I go to get it, where we pull up the scanners and then the news in the morning. All right, so check it out, and you should get all the information you need. If you want to join us at Bearable Traders, or if you're thinking about joining us, well, we got a number of membership options for you to consider. Everything from the intro offer, which really just gives you a 5-day introduction to the room and the offerings that we've got. You can get it discounted off the regular $39 price for only $24. Use the code PREMARKET24 to get that $24 discounted rate. Or if you're ready to jump in deeper, you can use the the basic or elite monthly packages. Or if you want to go full year, then the elite annual or the elite platinum. Now, the elite platinum is a little different in that it adds in there access to the boot camp. It's the best way to get boot camp, even if you already are a Bearable Traders member. Recommend you consider at least the elite platinum, because whatever membership you've got, let's say you're 3 months into a 1-year membership, you get this, you get an extra year on top of what you've already committed to. So you don't lose anything. Don't worry, they won't run at the same time. You'll get like the full value of whatever you pay for. And it's a really great deal, as you can see. The P Capital Bootcamp is only recommended for those who really want to get intensive on their learning and really accelerate their journey. That bootcamp is a ton of work, but there is so much material on it. Ask anybody who's attended; they'll tell you there's just so much stuff in there. We actually resist the urge to pack more because people are already getting overwhelmed with how much material. But the intent is really to help accelerate your trading journey and give you the information you need to be able to make smart decisions and trade for the long term. So if you want to trade for a living, consider the Peak Capital Trading Bootcamp. You can find out more details about it at peakcapitaltrading.com. Go check it out. All right. Stoyan is saying his brain is fried from PCT and he loves it. So there you go. That's and Atif is also jumping in there. So thank you both for that. We recommend, like, don't take our word for it. Talk to those that have paid the money and gone to the camp. Did they find value? We're confident of the answers you're going to get, because we've packed a ton of value and they're very proud of what we do there. So there you go. jump in, use the code Platinum to take advantage of that deal, and hopefully we'll see you both in the chat room and at the boot camp sometime soon. The next boot camp, by the way, current one is just coming to an end. Next week is when it all ends for the current boot campers. Next one will be starting in May, I believe. So we get a little bit of a month off, and then it starts in May through September, and then we'll do one last one for the year. So hopefully you will have a chance to sign up for one of those. All right, Carlos, back over to you to set some levels on the few things that we've got moving today and get ourselves ready for this open.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Peter, for that. I did see a couple that actually we did not mention, but might be worth on here, mentioned by our members in chat. Tesla's one of them. Tesla recently just started about 8:30, 8:35, started to drop here, making a new pre-market low. So that could be interesting. So I'm putting Tesla on the list. We'll fine tune this a little bit better. Let's look at, someone mentioned DJT.
DJT's moving right now. I was just
DJT.
looking at that.
Oh,
again.
look at that. There we
Yeah,
go. So that is that is fun to watch. I gotta say that is fun to watch.
It's just it's a wacky stock, man. I don't
Gotta watch the spread. I mean, I saw the spread yesterday. It's wild.
Yeah.
Be careful on that one.
It's,
So I'll put it as a possible. Very risky, guys. Be very careful how you trade this thing. It doesn't look like we have any shares for sure on top of that. It is in play. It's just, is it going to fit your style of trading? That is the question on that one, right? Same thing we saw with some of the low flows that are heavily on this list this morning. A lot of low flows today. The first top three, all under 5 million shares flow. Again, they're in play. 300,000, 77% up, 34% up. Good volume. It's just, is that going to fit the way you trade? They don't fit my style. It can be fun to watch, but not going to be on my list. Take a look at Mara. Mara could be interesting. Mara coin. I like the way Mara's daily looks, though. Mara's daily here trying to break out of the recent highs here, the 20 and the 21st. This could be interesting. Not a whole lot of volume. We're seeing so much good volume out of Mara. Today's not one of those days. Usually by now they have 1.2, 1.3. I only see 800,000 this morning. So not.
You
not
got you said Mara. Yeah. You got Raf's attention. Rafzilla loves trading Mara. He was talking about it yesterday. Yeah. Couldn't shut him up about it. But I'm just kidding. But yeah, he was watching it, and it did make some moves. So
yeah,
go Mara, go.
I'm gonna fine tune this list, guys. I'm gonna bring Reddick down. I put it on because more for entertainment purposes. I'm gonna bring that down. Another one, you got to be careful with the spread at times. And again, this list, Microsoft is Microsoft interesting. Has gapped up almost every right, gap up, gap down here, but gap up and gap down, a gap up, excuse me. And every day is red. Every day finds a way to sell off somehow. So very interesting. The last 5 trading days. We'll have it on the list here. We'll see how that goes. I do have Nvidia. I have AMD. Again, they're not great today. Very light volume. Apple is on here. Did great yesterday. Amazon looks good on the daily. And then we have Tesla's the only one with a very nice volume right now, 1 million, and it's starting to move. So all right.
I didn't notice this till you just mentioned it, Carlos. But yeah, we got a couple of stocks that are very interesting. Like you look at the Tesla daily, you're right. Like we had a red day, 2 red days in a row, but we're still above the last green day. So interesting. And then Microsoft, the same thing, right? Or even more interesting, 5 red days in a row, but we're still within the range of the last green day. Like all these red days, but haven't really dropped. Very interesting. Yeah.
So we'll see what that means here, guys. Again, very light volume. We'll see what the market open brings for this one today. But we'll be ready. Let's set levels for these, and then we will be ready to rock and roll here. So, friends, if you haven't done so already, hit that thumbs up on YouTube. We want to remind you that Peter and I are not responsible for what the Gappers list gives us. So, just because it's not great today, does not mean you cannot. You don't need to disregard hitting that thumbs up. So don't rate us on our watch list. That is 100% not our fault.
We don't make the news. We just report it.
We just report it. There we go. So here it is, Microsoft, guys. Let's take a look on it. High of the pre-market this morning, we were looking at 422. So we'll slam one level there, and then towards the bottom, we do have the low of the pre-market down at 420.91. Once you do that, you're surrounded by the highs and lows of the last 2 trading days. So not a whole lot that you need to do on here. Maybe one towards the bottom in case we do get going, but for the most part, 417 actually will slam one there, but for the most part, again, you're pretty set highs and lows for the last two trading days. Again, very interesting daily on Microsoft if you look at it the way it's been selling off. Let's take a look at Nvidia. Nvidia also having a couple of really uh, decent sized red days, right? The yesterday and the day before that. 895 is the low of the pre-market this morning. The high is going to, I'm sorry, 894.51 is the low of the pre-market. The high of the pre-market 904 is what I'm showing here. I don't know why my range is showing weird here. So that's interesting. But 894 and also 904 is what you have on deck. And then above that, guys, highs and lows for the last two trading days. Again, two really decent sized red days here on a sell-off. We are going to mark down 914. I think that's going to cover an area where you don't see a whole lot of highs and lows at the moment from the last two trading days, but you do got a couple of days opening and closing right on there. In case we're going to drop even further, we do have 881 as a level, and then we also have 866 as well. Taking a look at AMD, not a whole lot of volume, and pre-market high slamming into our previous day close at 179.59, so that is good for you there. And then towards the bottom, we do have 178.59, so we'll put a level there. Once you do that, guys, I mean, we're just kind of stuck within this range on NVIDIA, right? So not a whole lot of movement. Levels are all set for you here. Do not need to add anything else. And then take a look at Apple. Apple, probably one of the better trading stocks yesterday. Today, they're slightly down, but pretty much flat this morning. Not a whole lot of volume. 172. 20 is your low of your pre-market, your high slamming into the previous day close over at 173.38. So, and once you do that, again, surrounded by the highs and lows of the last two trading days, don't have to do a whole lot. Levels today are pretty easy, guys. There's not a whole lot of stocks breaking out of their range, just kind of going sideways the way the market has been this week, especially. So, we're just stuck within the highs and lows of the last two trading days in a lot of these tickers. One that looks interesting is Amazon. 179.39 is the low. And then the high is slamming into the most recent highs right over here around this area. So that's pretty good. High of the pre-market is 180.71. It looks like it wants to break out of this range. It's just, are we going to get the juice to do that after the market open here? 181.36, another great level towards the top. And once you do that, again, another one where you're surrounded by the highs and lows. You're pretty set on that one as well. And last one on this list is Tesla. Some good movement over the last couple of minutes here, about that last half hour or so. Pretty much down almost 0.5%, a little bit more than that. 178.50 is the low of the pre-market. And again, just broken record today. Highs and lows of the last two trading days, surrounding the price action. So not much you need to do here. Towards the top, I would just mark down the high of the pre-market over at 180. What is this? 180.91. And once you do that, highs and lows, previous day close, are taking good care of you here. So you're all set on Tesla. So there you have it, friends. That is our list. Again, not a blockbuster list by any means, but we'll see what the market brings today, right? So it'll be a day where you don't want to be as aggressive. You want to take it a little bit easier. We're close tomorrow. We do have more economic data coming out tomorrow, but the market is closed, which is interesting in itself. So maybe it's just people want to wait. People want to wait till next week and not get tied into anything that can affect the way things are going to look next week, right? And Jay Powell, he talks at 11:30 tomorrow as well, so he'll be
Tomorrow?
yeah, no, only we're close, man. Jay Powell's got to work. Yeah, he talks tomorrow 11:30. So it's a lot of stuff going on tomorrow that I think is
Okay.
affecting the way this market is moving. It really is. So,
Oh,
um,
absolutely.
yeah. So it's a lot of sideways action. People don't want to do anything until they see what's going to take place tomorrow. So next week going to be a lot of fun. Um, all right, Peter. Anything else? We're pretty much set here. Anything else that we
I
can?
want to Yeah, let's talk about the scanners for a second because we were getting some
Sure.
good questions about it. And if you take a look at the trading terminal scanners page, so these are free scanners that are available to you. One thing you're going to notice is a lot of scanners that are blank. And I had a good question about, well, why isn't there any data in that? It depends on how the scanners are configured. Obviously, the gappers, it's all about what's gapping pre-market. So we're going to see that information. But opening range breakup scanners, turbo breakouts, those types of scanners, they don't get populated until the opening bell because, well, you can't have an opening range till you know what the open price is and then set a range against that, right? So a lot of these, you don't see the break high a day or low a day. Well, the day hasn't started, right? So there's nothing in there. Same thing with a lot of them. So you'll see all of these go live and go active once the opening bell rings and things happen. So don't worry about it. They do work. They are there, and they can be great for your trading if you're looking to track stocks that are doing something specific. Don't forget, you can completely configure this yourself. So put in any indicators you want. You can change it around. It's very configurable. Find your way through the options, and you can sort of set them up the way you want. So yeah, check it out. And don't be afraid to play with it. Right, you can always revert back to the sort of the default if you want, and it will remember, by the way, your settings. You don't have to do this every time. That's the only reason why Trading Terminal asks for sort of your login information, is so that when you log in every time, it'll keep those settings for you. So yeah, hopefully you'll go in there and play with it. And by the way, if you got any feedback, the team loves the feedback. So on a number of pages, they've got the little sort of square happy face that's at the bottom right corner. Click on that, and you can provide feedback to them and let them know what you'd like to see improved, changed, added, or removed from the Trading Terminal website. All right. So there you go. So that's that. Again, one last time, I'll just remind you, it is a low volume week. We're expecting a low volume day. We have markets that are closed tomorrow. We have economic data that's coming out later this morning, 9:45 and 10 a.m. I'll give you the details on that in the chat room if you're a member. So you remember that and know what the numbers are as they come out. But if you're not, if you're just on YouTube, by the way, give us a thumbs up. But keep in mind those times, because if you're trading, you don't want to get stuck, right? And have some unexpected moves. They might benefit you, they might move against you. So just be careful. All right, that's what I had, Carlos.
Yeah, that's what we both have actually. So we are pretty much set here. Our moderators lists are having a tough time this morning with their list, rightfully so. Just not a lot that looks great out there. Here's Store. He has his list. Overall market, nothing stands out on the equities tickers right now. He'll be looking at futures. Jared will be looking at CGC, DJT, and also PLBY this morning. IPOs for today, we got a couple: Bold, UBXG, MAA, MMA. MNDR as well. And then, Peter, your list: AMD, Tesla, NVIDIA, Apple, and Walgreens. Someone mentioned to look at HR. I want to take a look at that. Let's just see what's happening as we wait for more
seemed
moderators
bold to me that this company decided to use the ticker MMA, Alta Global Group.
Yeah, is it like a fighting thing, or what is MA?
Nothing to do with, well, no, actually I lie. Apparently, Train Alta. This is a warrior training program. Oh, I guess that's why they called it MMA. It'll teach you to fight like an MMA fighter. Okay. All
There you
right.
go.
So there you go. I didn't think it was
Yep.
related at all, but it is. So less bold than I thought. But if you want
Awesome.
training, there you go. Apparently you can look up trainalta.com. That's their website. Anyways, not that I'm
Nice.
advocating for it. I have no idea, but all I know is they're supposed to IPO today. We'll see if that happens. Sometimes IPOs don't happen. I'll let you know, of course, as things go live.
Yeah. So someone mentioned HR. We know this ticker very well. We've seen it plenty of times. The spread could be brutal. Be very, very careful. I think they're low flow too. I think this is one of the higher priced low flow stocks. Again, just we've seen it plenty of times. Extremely light
RH,
volume.
yeah.
Yeah, what's the
This is
float
one
on
of
that?
these. This is like a KFC or some of these others that they don't want to be known by their full name anymore. This used to be Restoration Hardware. Now they're just RH.
Okay. Yeah, so be careful. It doesn't trade very well. Um, no, this, I'm sorry, did I say HR? RH is the one someone mentioned here, right? RH, yeah. So that one, be very, very careful. All right, perfect, friends.
Dyslexia is a horrible affliction.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Especially when we're used to saying HR so much, right? It's like one of those things we use all the time here as we get into trouble.
And
Peter,
it's like we see that in stock tickers all the time, right? When we get people like every once in a while, we'll see TLSA show up on our list, and I'm sure that's just
yeah,
people typing in
first
Tesla
thing
wrong. So,
comes to our mind is
yeah,
Tesla, right? Right.
yeah.
Um, Brian with his list this morning: Tesla, Lulu, and
Lulu.
Nvidia for him today. So
Man,
there
Brian
you
likes
have
the
it.
Lulu kick. You know, he puts on his list every once in a while. I can't say I've ever seen him trade it. So, well,
No, he's traded it before. Maybe not
has he?
recently.
All right.
Yeah, he has traded in the past for sure, plenty of times. Recently, I
Yeah.
think
Okay.
he's putting it just because he likes it, but I don't think it's been great recently. But yeah, he trades it, or at least used to quite a bit. Um, Friends, that's it. That's all we have. Take care. Have an amazing long weekend. We will see you guys again. Everything is closed tomorrow. We will see you guys on Monday. So happy Easter if you
Have a great
celebrate.
day. Trade smart, everybody.
Yeah.
See you
Take
then.
care, guys. See ya.